The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. Glory to you, O Lord. When the Sabbath was over, Mary Magdalene, Mary, the mother of James and Salome, brought spices so that they might go and anoint him. Very early, when the sun had risen, on the first day of the week, they came to the tomb. They were saying to one another, "Who will roll back this stone for us from the entrance to the tomb?" When they looked up, they saw that the stone had been rolled back. It was very large. On entering the tomb, they saw a young man sitting on the right side, clothed in a white robe, and they were utterly amazed. He said to them, "Do not be amazed. You seek Jesus of Nazareth, the crucified. He has been raised. He is not here. Behold the place where they laid him. But go and tell his disciples and Peter, he is going before you to Galilee. There you will see him as he told you." The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. I don't know, I was ready for that part to go on forever. And yeah, I don't know. I was thinking, we could crank up our vigils a little bit, get some more readings in there. It's fantastic. But this is it. And I want to take just really one word from the gospel today, as at least a point of leverage for the rest of the homily. We see that when the three women made their way to the tomb, it was the first day of the week. The first day of the week. Now, think back 9 scripture readings ago, and you will have the creation narrative on the first day. It's not by chance. It's not by chance. God created his world. God created the universe to have man live in it, to live in holiness and justice. To live in relationship with God, perfect relationship with God, and to live in perfect relationship with each other. But sin entered in. And we look at, when we take those readings, when we could take them together, we see what God's answer is to the plight that we put ourselves in. Why so long, though? Why so long? I mean, okay, here's the offense. Will God deal with it? Now come with a bang and whatever, come quickly to our aid. But that's, in the end, not the way love works. So what we have in our story, from Genesis all the way to today, have the story of God's love working to establish in and through and among us his holiness and justice. And we have to be inclined tonight, as we hear the words of the exalted, oh happy fault, that it could not have been any other way. It could not have been. For love to take possession of the world and to sweep up all peoples into the divine life. There could not have been any other way. And we trust God on that account. And I think it has enormous implications for where we find ourselves today, as a people, but also personally in our own lives. And I don't know what your assessment of where you are today is. I hope it's that things are great, and At least in part because you celebrated a great Lent and you're so happy to see this day dawn, to see the light of Jesus' resurrection pop up on the horizon. But maybe that's not where you are. Right? Maybe you're down in the dumps. You're still struggling. Right? We're all still struggling in some way. Right? But in our struggle, can we see the God who has taken on our struggle himself and desires from the depth of his heart to join us in the struggle? It's what we celebrate today. We celebrate not only that, we celebrate the fact that God joined us in the struggle. God walked away himself, bearing our burdens, and defeated our ultimate enemy. Because here, when we see God's beautiful creation, and we see sin and death enter in and bring corruption and decay to what was otherwise God's beautiful creation, we know also that it's not simply human beings at work to make it so, but the powers of darkness themselves. And Jesus took it all on his back and went to the death for us and came out the other side. And when Jesus came out the other side, then he lived into the new world that God was creating. He lived into a world where justice again could take hold, where beauty could be a lived reality, right? Where truth meant something, where truth means something, where freedom is far more than just what we want to do when we want to do it. Now, Jesus is the first part of God's new creation. And on the first day of the week, he rises, freed from the ravages of sin and death, to be the first part of God's new creation and to make us go where he has gone already. What does it mean for us? And Jesus lives on the other side of death's divide. He lives freed from the corruption of sin and death. But now his life, as we turn to him in prayer and sacrament, is communicated to us. He communicates it to us. He gives us now a share in his life beyond death, not corrupted by death. Hear what I'm saying, my friends. I'm not saying that he lives on the other side of death to have us jump over the chasm. That's part of it, but it's not the main part of what we celebrate tonight. The main part of what we celebrate tonight is God's desire to renew his creation, his good creation, and to have it happen in us now, to transform us now by the power of his Spirit, so that we can build a fit dwelling place for him, and that his kingdom might come on earth as it is in heaven. It happens by prayer and sacrament. And that's why we're gathered here tonight. And that's why we celebrate with our 5 men tonight who are being received into the church and being confirmed in the faith. Because the sacraments matter. The sacraments communicate the divine life to us. Jesus gives us himself in the sacraments so that we can live now, freed from our slavery to sin. And just as that great long story of God culminates in Jesus' death and resurrection, just as that whole great story is itself the story of love, the story of God's self-gift through the ages, so now Jesus enables us by prayer and sacrament to live the lives that God always wanted for us. Lives of holiness and justice, lives of beauty and truth, freedom, relationship, and all the rest. we live out these realities now without concern for what opposes us, without concern for whatever is coming our way, without concern, my friends, even for death itself. We live already triumphant in the light of Jesus' victory.